Exit strategy, just about to go to the funeral itself. We're just leaving the sanctuary where the funeral or the viewing was held. And this is for Xavier Williams. He was 10 years old. He was just shy of his 11th birthday. We're heading over to the cemetery to lay him to rest. I gotta say, he looked very good in light of the fact that, you know, from the day that it happened to now, it's been over a month. Yeah, so he looked very well. They did a good job in, you know, taking care of him and dressing him. The family seemed to still be very strong through it all. You know, they act almost as if their hostess is, you know, just the Jamaican culture, I guess. They're always ready to just host other people, family and friends. And that strength there, because I actually got very teary in this visit because to see him actually laying there at 10 years old was kind of, yeah, it was kind of heart-wrenching to see that. But they said such good things about him in the live. They have a live stream for this going on YouTube, I guess. So I just decided to capture a little bit of the procession. We're just about to start moving here. I won't do a lot of filming because I'm driving. I don't see how much I can get done. So I don't want to hit anyone. Gotta pay attention to what I'm doing. And it actually ranged from upstate New York, from where I left this morning, to Hartford, Connecticut. It is wet through, it is raining through every step of the way. Every single mile it is wet. So wherever you're at, it's probably raining too. So don't feel like, or if it isn't raining, you got left out. 3-hour drive and it rained the whole way throughout the whole. They give us these when we come in. We have to put them on the inside of the car. I don't think I've ever been in a funeral procession driving myself. I think I've been in one or two when I was a little kid. Family members. I don't remember what family members they were. It's just a very vague memory. I don't gravitate to funerals, but again, this was, and I don't shy away from them either, but this one here, this kid and his story, just, it captured me in a whole different way. And I'm here. It's my second visit. I was at the vigil and I'm here for the funeral to see him home. Hey guys, I see you guys popping up. I didn't put a title to this. I just started the live stream because I felt just you guys would like to see some of the procession. It is on live somewhere else. I just don't know where. They were live streaming it inside. Did someone, let me put my glasses on. Yeah, I thought that said OnlyFans. It was about 500 people in attendance, from what that pastor said, and about 1,000 were in on the live stream. This story is a real big deal throughout the nation. Many people don't know about it yet. They haven't heard about it. But I'm sure at some point they will, because this is Xavier Williams, the 10-year-old kid from the county of, he was living in Florida with his mom and her new boyfriend, and he was murdered. He was abused, and he subsequently died from his injuries. And they're seeking the death penalty for the mother and the boyfriend. And this is fresh out of the box. They are indicting with the intentions to seek the death penalty because of how gruesome it was. And senseless. So there you go. Now you know what we're live streaming. His name is Xavier Williams. You can look it up on Google it, go on YouTube. You'll see the stories. You'll see a press conference with law enforcement when this first happened. You'll see a whole bunch of stuff. So they finally let me get in, so it's give and take. There's a whole bunch of cars. This is parking lot. My windows are tinted. I don't know if we can see out of them. I really don't want to make my camera visible because inside there was not anyone videoing anything other than they had a camera man or a photographer, and even the live stream, I don't know where they were doing that from. They must have had a studio room somewhere, because I didn't see anyone visibly holding their camera up or anything. Although I saw Camille, which is the aunt, I saw her holding her camera when the pastor was speaking on the podium. So I took all of my gear, my camera gear in, video equipment stuff, but I didn't take it out of the case. So it's always good to be mindful and respectful of the atmosphere. If you don't surmise that there is anyone doing it, or there's a big following of such, you don't do it, because it's just not good. It's just a matter of respect. I just didn't do it. And it's always touchy with you doing funerals and stuff like this, because you have to pay attention to your surroundings and see if that's even permissible or accepted or allowed, just by visually and feeling things out. You don't want to offend anyone in such a sensitive time like this. And so far everybody seems to be very respectful. And as they should be. I wouldn't expect any less, because although there are funerals that you just never know now with funerals. There's been cases where family members and siblings have squabbled. They have squabbled at the funeral home, at the viewing, and at the cemetery. There has even been gunplay and shootouts at some cemeteries. It's just, but this is a peaceful event, and the family and friends are all respectful of one another. I know it's a tense situation. I don't know how much of the mother of Xavier Williams, I don't know how many the mother's family and siblings are here, but I'm sure at some point they establish friendships between both sides. That's just an automatic thing. Most of the time when two individuals come together, there are two different sides of families. So, and I'm sure Xavier's mother's family members, I'm sure they're grieving as well. So that's something to really consider. We can't vilify the mother's side of the family because of what one individual did, especially if they had no hand in it or no idea on what was going on. And this is one of those things where it can be happening right up under your nose and you don't know it. So this is, it's unfortunate. Tragedies happen, but this is the way laws are made. This is the way laws are passed because of tragedies like this tragedy. I would hope that they adopt a law called Xavier's Law. And I mentioned it to someone. It should entail or specify when in cases such as this one, written out specifically where there's a torture and there is repeated, not even repeated torture and extreme overt abuse, chaining, binding, beating, and in this case dropping 10-pound dumbbells on this kid's stomach repeatedly. This is savage. This is I can't even say this is something they would train the Navy SEALs to do, because I don't know what kind of training they do, but this is where you'd have someone almost like a POW, a prisoner of war. You'd have them you have them in situations like this where you would torture them. This kid's 10 years old. I mean, no age is good or justifiable for this kind of behavior. But anyone who has a 10-year-old, my kids are 15, I cannot even imagine. Those are my youngest, 15. They are still very defenseless. And, if I could talk about this a little bit more about defenselessness, even a woman in a situation like this. But, them being kids, this kid 10 years old and being submissive to the parent as they're so-called disciplining him, his adolescence doesn't register, even though it might, as it was happening, that this is dead wrong, this is not appropriate punishment for me. Still, and yet, they were told not to talk to the biological father when he called about it. was gonna say, man, am I still with the procession? Okay, we're blended in somewhere here. I don't know how we got away from them. How did I get out of that procession? I lost the procession. They're way up there. A couple of us are in it. But generally, the procession is supposed to be one chain. This guy's not with it, the processional. I guess we are. Shouldn't be any civilian cars here that are not going to the processional. It's the way it used to be, but I guess we caught back up. So back to what I was saying, you know, the kid, you know, in short, a child knows innately inside of themselves that this is, well, they may sense it, but as a child, that's the dicey part. Going to school, say after a night of being tortured like this, and survive and go to school aching and wearing, and I was told that Xavier wore long sleeve shirts so the bruises and stuff did not show, and the kid just kept it to himself. And that is the very elusive part. That's the very elusive part. The abusers, much like narcissists do, and this is why I believe I gravitated towards this story. Like many others, Lori Daybell, you know, these are all narcissists. These are narcissistic personality disorder people in severe ways. But yet they walk among us, and they look like us, they act like us, but there is distinct things that they do in their behavior. One of which I want to point out, a narcissist can't be still. A narcissist cannot keep their mind on one single thing. And I'm going to show you where a lot of people use ADHD, be it narcissist, they will use this ADHD as a cover, a smokescreen for what they actually are struggling with, which is narcissistic personality disorder. There's a lot of mental health labels that narcissists use, and I've made videos about this before. And some would say, well, I struggle with ADHD and I'm not a narcissist. Well, you probably are not. Everybody who has ADHD, I don't believe are narcissists. We're just speaking in terms of how narcissists use these mental health disorders or mental health issues as covers for a deeper, darker, more disturbed problem. And so it's easily recognizable. Those of you who are awake and aware of what we're dealing with here, I mean, really truly being awakened. If you've been abused by these individuals, not always physical, because most often narcissists, they'll abuse you and don't even put a hand on you. But in cases where they are abusive, say if they're alcoholics or drug addicts, and I'm willing to believe there was some drugs or alcohol involved here with this mother and this boyfriend. If you add that into the equation, narcissists are abusive anyway, verbally to begin with. But you add drugs, a gambling problem, you'll have a man that's a narcissist, and he will have just a raw anger problem because he'll have 10 or 15 women behind the wife's back, and she's been loyal. They've been married 20 years or better, and she's been going through the motions thinking that she has this faithful husband. And lo and behold, when all hell breaks loose, say he goes to jail or commits some kind of atrocity, she finds out that he's got 10, 15 different women that he's been in a committed, indirectly committed relationship for over 10 years. All of them. And it'll be jaw-dropping. People will look at each other like, how did we not see this? A narcissist man in public, a good identifier, and we're using a narcissist man that has a wife that's a victim. He will dote on everything and anything in the good amongst people. He will stroke her ego in public in front of people and start telling his friends, in her earshot, of course, my wife does this for a living. She just finished this, that, or the other. Go ahead, baby, tell them what you do. And so the baby, go ahead and tell them, baby, what you do. Tell them a little bit about that. That is for extra measure. Now, a wife knows that he's full of shit. She knows that he is wishy-washy, two-faced, hypocritical, playing games in front of his friends. But she is so trauma bonded, she will follow suit and do just what he has asked her to do, because she knows she's between a rock and a hard place. She knows she cannot say anything. Like, she can't out him and say, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to tell. And you may have sometimes empaths and victims, they will chew through the ropes right in public. They'll be like, I don't want to talk about it. And they'll shut down. And it'll have his friends looking crazy like, oh. And he'll pass it off like, oh, she's okay. She'll be all right later. But she'll pay for that when she get home, because she didn't play her position right. She embarrassed him. She made a scene. All because she didn't want to talk and play the game. She's penalized. And if she does go along with it, no sooner he say, go ahead and tell him, baby, what you do. Tell him a little bit about it. He will use that as an excuse so he can get some distance and get away from that little grouping and leave her there talking. So he's done that on purpose, because now he's going to probably go in the bathroom or go somewhere and just start, get on the phone with his other supply, or just go do his thing. That's what he's going to go do. He's going to go do his thing. All right, there's quite a bit of parking here, but it's going to run out soon. Quite a bit of parking, but we're here. Well, guys, I think we're gonna go. I think it's all the way up there. I have to let you guys take a peek, but I'm probably not gonna film going up there. It's way up there. There's a ton of cars up there. So I'm probably just gonna walk. I'm gonna walk up there, and I could have just taken off and went home, but I decided I wanted to just, I took the trip 3 hours. I might as well just hang out a little bit. I was actually gonna probably get a room and go back tomorrow, but I think I'll probably just drive back. It's only 3 hours. Not too bad. If I have to stop at a rest stop, get a 15-minute break, I will. Depends on how I feel, but right now I feel okay. So guys, I wish I could take you up there with me on the live, but I'm pretty sure I'm probably not gonna do that. So as I said, they have the viewing at the church on live. It was on a live stream, so I'm sure if you type in Xavier Williams, you'll be able to find it. XAIV or XAVIER, Xavier Williams, WILLIAMS, and you'll be able to pull that up. I'm gonna give it a couple of minutes here and then I'm gonna walk up. In the meantime, guys, bless.